Ian Stokes murder case to death by hanging. Ibrahim Jata was following proceedings and he now reports.
The Special Criminal Court handed a death sentence to Michael Ifunaya and Stanley Ukochukwu, the first and second accused person respectively in the Ian Stokes murder trial, whilst discharging third accused Colin Sikoe in what may be the most speedy trial of the year thus far. 9 witnesses testified for prosecution who admitted a host of statements in evidence as exhibits. All 3 accused persons had denied the single charge of murder leveled against them and gave evidence in their defense without calling any witness. Both parties eventually addressed the court orally in their final arguments. Prosecutors had alleged that the 3 conspired to jointly rob the deceased Ian Stokes after being informed that he keeps his money in a personal safe instead of banking. The Briton was consequently engaged in a gold business by the first and second accused, and when they ultimately succeeded in getting him out from his restaurant to finalize the deal, Ian Stokes was brutally stabbed by the first accused, whilst the second accused held him down at Junction Bar when he refused to reveal the number of his safe. The third accused was subsequently called to bring fuel, which was intended to destroy the scene of crime. Fingerprints of the accused, who quickly attempted to flee the country, were later lifted, among other evidence at the scene, by investigators who also secured confessional statements from the accused persons. The first and second accused had dismissed the charges and adduced that they didn't kill nor witness the death of Ian Stokes, as they were in a different car with the deceased. In his summary of the entire evidence adduced during the short-lived trial, the presiding judge revealed that in order to prove a charge of murder, certain elements must be verified, such as death, its unlawful nature, malice and aforethought, as well as the participation of the accused persons. There was no doubt as to the death of the deceased, according to Justice Nkea, citing the testimony of prosecution witnesses and the pathological report which came into evidence. On the element of illegality, the judge stated that every homicide is deemed to be unlawful unless sanctioned by law. In this case, Nkea revealed that death was caused by stab wounds severely inflicted on the neck and abdomen, which he said indicates the intention to cause harm. Malice and aforethought can only be inferred from circumstantial evidence, according to Justice Nkea, who went on to state how precedence has been set in proving this element through such ingredients as the type of weapon used and its nature, the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and the attitude of the assailants, who in this case used a knife to repeatedly stab the deceased, causing injuries to the neck and abdomen, which brought about severe wounds to the liver and small intestines of the deceased, indicating the use of brutal force, according to the presiding judge. The confessional statements of the accused may not be enough to convict them, but extraneous evidence cited during the trial, according to Justice Nkea, might actually prove relevant, especially the testimony indicating how the deceased was moved from the driver's seat to the passenger seat, which the judge said corroborates the statements of the first and second accused, both of whom attempted to flee the country after the crime. Prosecutors had invited the court to hold the third accused as an accessory after the fact, but Nkea stated that the third accused was not a party to the crime, even though there is unchallenged evidence of how his fingerprint was lifted from the scene of crime. Justice Nkea commended the Gambia Police Force for remarkably employing expert investigation in their proofs, but went on to reveal that there is no evidence to prove that the third accused knew the purpose of the fuel he was asked to bring to the scene. He might be guilty of another crime, but not murder, according to Justice Nkea, who discharged the third accused, Colin Sikoe, in the absence of incriminating evidence and convicted the first and second accused person as charged. Legal Aid Counsel Oluma Oduma consequently asked the court to tamper justice with mercy. The presiding judge, Emmanuel Nkea, however, sentenced Michael Ifunaya and Stanley Ukochukwu to death by hanging. Ibrahim Jata, GRTS.
Still on legal matters, Justice Mikhail Abdullah has convicted and sentenced Mohammed Karu and Modlo to life imprisonment. State prosecutors leveled 4 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, robbery and assault against the duo, charges they denied at the High Court. 8 witnesses testified for the prosecution during the 3-month trial, which saw prosecutors admit a host of documents. The accused gave evidence in their defense but called no witnesses to testify on their behalf. The particulars of the offense indicate that the two jointly ambushed, assaulted and robbed Mr. Farid Bensouda, the proprietor of Coco Ozone Hotel, Resort and Spa on April 21, 2012 at his residence in Kilsing. Prosecution witness, including the medical doctor who examined the victim, expounded on the severity of the stab wounds and lacerations on the head of the victim and several parts of his body. In his scrutiny of the evidence adduced during the trial, the presiding judge stated that there is indeed a meeting of minds which points to conspiracy to rob and assault the victim by the accused before convicting them on all counts charged. Legal representatives, however, entreated the court to give the accused a second chance to reform and live better lives away from crime, but the presiding judge, Mikhail Abdullah, went for the maximum sentence in his verdict after listening to the mitigations of mercy. The two accused were subsequently sentenced to life imprisonment on count 1, 14 years on count 2, 7 years on count 3, and 7 years on count 4. The judge further ordered that all sentences run concurrently and reminded the convicts of their rights to appeal. The West African Agricultural Productivity Program under the Ministry of Agriculture recently handed over 108 metric tons of seeds, mainly rice, groundnut, and maize, to the Agricultural Regional Directorate in the North Bank region. Modu Jallo reports the seed worth over $3 million are meant for farmers across the country.
$3 million worth of groundnut, rice and maize seeds produced by the West African Agricultural Productivity Program was recently handed over to the Agricultural Regional Directorate through the Governor of North Bank Region at the Chairman Agricultural Center. Officials had a roundtable discussion on the modalities of seed acquisition, distribution, and production. The Regional Director of Agriculture in Kerawan, Dr. Seh Sanyang, said this distribution is in line with government, WAP project, and all other stakeholders' drive to improve the livelihood of farmers to eradicate poverty in terms of seeds, fertilizers, and technical support, among others. Ansumana Jaju, focal person of Nari, said as technicians, they have taken the challenge to move in the integrated agricultural research for development.
West African Agricultural Productivity Program goes beyond that, and the thinking of IR4D, Integrated Agricultural Research for Development, goes beyond that. That's why we have a convergence, participatory, that's keyword, in terms of ensuring the gainful investment in agriculture. That is sustainability, because we want to bring everybody on board from the word go.
Setian Sose, the WAP coordinator, said the project came to complement the objectives of JIP, revealing that the JIP project laid the foundation of seed infrastructure and renovation of the Chairman Agricultural Center.
WAP overall the overall objective is to enhance agricultural production and productivity through the generation and dissemination of technologies that would help to increase production and productivity. Donata came with the idea of innovation platforms, and in this very region, through the support of the regional directorate here, they were able to increase maize production, the yield, average yield, to up to 2.5 tons per hectare.
Officials described Chairman Agricultural Center as a multi-purpose center due to rehabilitation of all the infrastructure for agricultural productivity in the country. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Asimi Cole, commended JIP staff for a job well done, adding that JIP brought visibility to agriculture.
The purpose of this our meeting today, I think it is very, very important. Important in the sense that for good seeds, what we will call good seed, that's the mother of everything. Without good foundation seeds, what are we? Can we talk of anything? It's like us. I mean, it's like, you know, the modern child. I mean, if we do not nurture what we have now, I don't think we'll be in a position actually to talk of good agriculture.
The VS call emphasized the need for farmers to reserve seeds for the future. The governor of North Bank Region, Lamin Queen Jame, commended the JIP, WAP, and all stakeholders who contributed to the development of agriculture in his region, adding that such successful efforts, if replicated in other regions, would enhance food security in the country.
This forum is very important. In fact, in my strong opinion, it is second to none. Because an agrarian society like the Gambia cannot sustainably develop without developing in a sustainable manner the agricultural sector. It is a rural-based population where majority of the people are in the rural setting. And in order to develop them and make them contribute to the national development agenda, it is only through agriculture that you can develop them.
Governor Lamin Jame urged stakeholders to be action-oriented and add values on achievements registered in all national endeavors. Officially handing over the seats, the Agricultural Regional